In this video, I want to go over NPM Shrinkwrap with you. So if you're a Node.js developer, you probably use a package.json file pretty often in your projects. So I want to explain a scenario you probably run into before. You set up a new Node.js project, you install your dependencies with npm install, and your app runs pretty smoothly. And everything going as planned, but a week later, you decide to share the project with your colleague or your friend. They git cloned it and install the dependency using npm install. They run all the app and all of a sudden errors everywhere. So it runs fine on your computer, but on their computer it doesn't work. So you look at your code, it's working correctly, everything's fine, it's the same code. So what happened? They have the same dependency, the same code. Why did the app not work on their computer? The problem is bad dependency tree. This is a problem all too common in NPM ecosystem. I'll explain what this means. But before we start, I would like to go over the basic of semantic versioning in NPM. The short term is semver. So the way semver works is that when you look at your package.json file, so let me open up a example from a previous tutorial. If you're looking at the package.json file, you see a bunch of component name, no module name, and then the version number. You'll notice that it's a 3-digit number. So what these 3-digit number means is that the first number is the major release, the second number is the minor release, and the third number is the patch. Major release means everything that may possibly break previous releases. So it's a huge release with a lot of changes. Minor release is something that works compatible with backwards code. So like with your current code, it still works. It's not a breaking change. And a patch is a small fix for a current release. So it's a 3-number system. And you notice that some of them have this tilde, or is that that's a I don't know how to call this. Is it tilde or something? But basically, what a caret. This is what a caret. So when you have a caret, it means that you are allowing anything that's not a major release to auto update. So when you have caret 15.4.1, that means whenever the new version of React, let's say 15.5 comes out or 15.4.3 comes out, when you do npm install, it will automatically install that for you. Instead of the version 15.4.1, it will automatically use the latest version. Let's say the latest is 15.5.1, it will automatically install that one. So this means that your installation is no longer deterministic. Meaning, if you put this in your package.json and then somebody else clones the project, and then the author of the modules maybe made a mistake or something that happens to break your project, and this is the result of that. So this is the reason why it won't work on your friend's computer a few weeks later, because there's a new version of this module released. And that's not even the big problem. The big problem is that this module here, let's say React module, if you go into the folder itself to look at React, it actually installs a bunch of other dependencies that it relies on. So this means that it's not just this file that's changed. All the dependencies that specify inside the React package.json will also get automatically updated. So if you look at the React project and look at the package.json here, so it depends on a bunch of modules, and these modules will basically auto update for you. So there's really no way of locking them down. So to fix this problem, we can use a thing called NPM Shrinkwrap. NPM Shrinkwrap is a built-in tool for the NPM command line tool in Node.js. And this tool will allow you to make your modules locked down, meaning you will install a specific version of the module to your projects. Okay, so let me give you an example. I'm going to create a new folder called Shrinkwrap. And then I'm going to start a new npm project. So I'm going to do npm init. I'm going to answer yes to all the questions. So this will create an empty project with an empty package.json file in the folder. So, oops, I need to go into Shrinkwrap folder and then do npm init, yes. So this will create this package JSON file here that's empty. So I'm going to install a couple of libraries. So npm install moment, jQuery, Bluebird, and Express. So I'm going to install these things, but I'm going to add a couple of flags to this. You need to do save, so it can save it in the dependency section of the package JSON. And then I need to add save -exact. This will save the project to your folder with the exact version, so it won't have this character in front of the package definition. So if you look at it, there's no characters, meaning it will save the exact version that's the latest for these libraries and put it in your package JSON dependencies. So now if you have some dev dependencies, we can do that as well. So let's install another library. I don't know, what's another fun library for Node.js? Let's just use Babel. Now this one, I want to save it to dev dependencies. So you do this. And now this will appear in the dev dependencies where it says Babel. So now you are saving the exact version of each module. So this will prevent the semver from executing. So every time you install, you have the same version every time. Now the thing is, these libraries will have a package.json of their own, so they're going to install these things automatically. You can basically make change to their dependency specifications. You see, like this Bluebird library, it has a bunch of carrots in them, so you can't really fix that. So how can we fix that? We can do it by using NPM Shrinkwrap. So Shrinkwrap will take a snapshot of all the modules and their sub-module dependencies currently installed on your app, and then it takes a snapshot and create a dependency tree based on that. And once it creates a base dependency tree, you can see all your application. It basically has a snapshot of all the dependencies your application needs, and you can check into that repository to like GitHub, so you can have an exact version of it. So let's see how this works. In order to check in everything for your application, if you look at we have dev dependencies, and then we have regular dependencies. So if you want to take a snapshot of everything here, you just need to run this command. It's called npm shrinkwrap --dev. You need the --dev flag, so it will look at all the modules inside the dev dependencies and then create that as part of the snapshot. So if you do this, so it says wrote npm shrinkwrap JSON. So if you go to here, you'll see that this is a giant output which contains a tree of all your modules and dependencies. So now when you can check in this file into your source control like GitHub. Now whenever somebody clones your project and they look at it, you're gonna have several files. Now when npm detects a file called npm shrinkwrap.json, when you do npm install, it will install everything from this shrinkwrap file instead of package.json. This means that it will always install the same exact version of modules and submodules based on this definition that you created. So now you'll never have to worry about having a indeterministic build, and your build will always work in the same way from your computer or from your friend's computer or from a continuous integration environment. It will always work. So this is really, really useful, and I love to use that with npm. So now there's a really nice tool called npm vet. So you can install it by doing npm. I'll tell you what it does in a minute. So if you do npm install npm vet-g, this will install this vetting tool to your command line. So now when you want to run a diagnosis on your current project to see what versions of module and that's specified in package and the one that's installed in your computer, this will always make sure that they match and they're locked. So this way you will always be sure that your modules are up to date and are the same across everywhere. This module also offers a way to output it in JSON format. So if you want to pipe the output of this thing into your build tool or something to make sure that everything is good, you can certainly do that. It's very useful. Now, the downside of having an exact version of your module is that sometimes your module will be out of date because you are always using the same version. So it's a good idea to always run this npm outdated command. This command will tell you if any of your modules is outdated, if there's new version installed. So let's say, for example, let me get rid of NPM Shrinkwrap. So okay, so the other thing is, let's say you want to upgrade a library, or you want to change a version of your module specified here. You can basically do this. So I have to, let's say I want to change jQuery, right? 3.1.1, I want to change it. So let me npm uninstall jQuery first. This will get rid of it from your no modules folder. Let's say I want version 3.0.1, right? Now you just do a you remove the Shrinkwrap file and then you do npm install. Now this will fetch the latest from, oh, it's not a valid, so let me pick a valid version from jQuery. 3.1.0 sounds good. So I'm going to go in here and change it to 3.1.0. So this will install an older version of jQuery, but pretend this is the way you want to upgrade it. So now I have npm 3.1.0 on my thing. So I just need to run npm shrinkwrap dev, and this will create a new npm shrinkwrap version in my root directory, and now it will contain jQuery 3.1.0. So if I run npm outdated, so npm outdated would compare my current jQuery version with the latest that's out there, and it tells me that, hey, there's a new patch version called 3.1.1, so I might want to do that. So then you can install that to your projects. So this is a good idea to update libraries from time to time, otherwise they'll get outdated really quick. So I hope this is a tutorial where you get to know a bit about how to lock down your dependencies with npm. This is an issue with npm, and it's pretty common, and people have known it for a long time. So if you ever encounter a time where your code works on one person's computer and then didn't work a few weeks later on another, this might be the issue. Now there are new tools like Yarn out there which will automatically generate a log file for you, which does the same way that npm Shrinkwrap is doing. So I have a video on Yarn, so if you're interested, I'll put a link in the description below. And that is it for this video. I'll see you guys next time. This video was brought to you by DigitalOcean, the best cloud computing service designed for developers. Start your private server in as little as 1 minute. Choose from a wide selection of preview images such as Node, LAMP, Docker, and WordPress, hosted on multiple regions around the world. Use the link in the description below to get $10 off when you sign up. I'll see you in the next video.